Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. Hey, I'm so glad you're with us. We are ready to get going. It is a new month, new week, our fresh week to start our month off. And I have got just an amazing week, amazing month planned for you as we get going. We're getting into our month theme of spirituality, metaphysics, esoteric truth, meditation, quiet in the mind, deep thought. We got some really great concepts and ideas we're going to be going over this month. This is one of my favorite months. I love Halloween, and I love just getting deep, and we're going to do that. Tomorrow, don't forget, those of you in the group coaching, we have a meeting. It's a Get It Done Now Check Act meeting from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. We will see you there tomorrow, ready to go. And then, of course, at the end of the month, we've got our Get It Done Now live event. So we are ready to roll as we get things going. So this week, we've got today, what are we going to get into? We're going to get into finding faith in something deeper. We're going to talk about that faith and really get into getting something that will help you deal with some of those things that come into your mind and some of the things that happen when you are alone. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. It's going to be a good one. Then the new book study. You can go to the Compass. Again, go to morningcoach.com. Click on Compass. You can read about our schedule. We are doing a new book. It's an old book. It's called 3 Magic Words, Yule S. Anderson. We're going to do the intro and chapter 1 through 3 tomorrow. So we're going to start getting through that book. Again, one of the beautiful things here is you don't have to go buy the book. We're going to go over the main parts of it. But if you want to read along with us every month, we have that book study for you. And this one's more of a metaphysical book. It's a book that influenced Dr. Wayne Dyer, a lot of my mentors. So it's one of those books that I think you're going to enjoy as we get into new thought kind of ideas with it. Wednesday, what is faith? We're going to get into faith again. This is a big week about what is faith. Thursday, of course, is those questions that come into me, Ask a JB. Friday, we've got financial ideas and stress and things that we're working with faith and how we fit that in. On Saturday, we have faith systems, and we're gonna address the question, does religion work? And then finally, Sunday, dealing with spiritual doubt. So big week planned, excited to see everybody tomorrow in the group coaching, but let's get into it today. So finding faith in something deeper. What does that mean? Why would we want to even have faith in something deeper? Well, let's start off first with the alone discussion. Let's just get into the idea of being alone. So when I talk about being alone, is that no matter what type of relationship you have, no matter what type of community we build here, right? No matter how many people that we bring together, there are still times when you're going to be alone. There's just times when you're alone. If you're an athlete, as many people are that listen to the show, there are times when you are alone, right? It's you and your thoughts. That's it. Even if you have a caddy with you and you're a professional golfer, it's still you and your thoughts. You are in your head. And I think it's critical to start to understand this idea of the mental conversation that we're having, the mental kind of discussion that goes on with ourselves. And you know from my first book that I talk about the observer versus the ego, meaning we are the person, we are above the thinker. We're observing the thinker, right? Even though that is us, it's still a part of us. So as we get deep this month, we're really going to get into this aspect of really making your mind your friend and your heart your friend and understanding this at a deeper level. But when we talk about finding faith today and really get into it, we need to think about what Blaise Pascal told us years ago, okay? Blaise Pascal said this. This is a quote, French mathematician, by the way. He says, all men's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. Let me repeat that. All men's and we'll add women's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. And if you think about that, that's pretty intense, right? All the miseries come from you not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. What is that telling us? That's telling us it's that time when we're in our head that it is really challenging to be able to do what we need to do. And the doubt and the fear and all the things that are going on in our mind. I'm not good enough. That imposter syndrome. I'm going to be found out, right? That is where the misery comes from. So what do we got to do? We've got to develop faith, and we've got to make our mind a friend. So my big thing is, when I'm alone, is that I recognize that I'm never alone. Now, this is really weird, but I'm going to go over a couple statements that can help you. So you have to have a personal and private relationship with your faith. Now, I get it. There's public relationships, and I'm going to talk about that as we get into this week too. But the private relationship is what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about that private relationship with the faith that you have in whatever it is, okay? Personally, I have a faith in God. I grew up a Catholic, so I have a faith in Jesus, and that's my faith, okay? We've had that discussion of religious pluralism before, but my personal faith is in that doctrine or that dogma that I believe in, because that's what I grew up in and what I've studied. I've studied the world's religions. I do believe there's different paths, but for me, that's my path. I have faith in Jesus, I have faith in God, and I have faith in the Holy Trinity, not to get religious, but that's just me, right? And again, if you can study religious pluralism, you can look it up and you can understand that I believe that there's other paths also, but that's my path. And so when I have my relationship, and I say I'm never alone, one of my favorite posters that's out there in poems is Footprints in the Sand. You've heard me talk about it before. But it's the idea that two people are walking on the beach. One is you, and the other person is Jesus. And as you're walking, right, you can see the two footprints, and they see the footprints in the sand. And then all of a sudden, there's only one footprint in the sand. There's one person had disappeared. And what the poem is about is the person saying to Jesus, look, hey, we were walking along together for so long. That was awesome. And then in the toughest time in my life, and that's what it connotes, is that tough time, right? You're alone. You're trying to deal with so much. The toughest time when I was alone, Jesus, you abandoned me. I can't believe you could have abandoned me in the most important time in my life when I was dealing with difficulties, right? And that poem says, I didn't abandon you. That's when I carried you. And to me, that is what faith is about having that ability to let go, to give it to somebody else, to offload your burdens so that you can focus on you, right? This is deep, deep esoteric stuff. It just is. It's stuff that, people, we can't talk about this on Facebook. Look, I've always said we're a spiritual community, okay? It doesn't have to be religious. It's not about dogmatic religion. It's about your spirituality and your faith and what you do. I'm just sharing with you mine and my personal belief system. But I would never be somebody that would ever say you have to go that direction. There are multiple faiths, right? But for me, it works. It works knowing that I have this deity, for me, Jesus, that is carrying me in difficult times. That is my relationship, okay? And it's personal and it's private. And some of the things that I love about my relationship is if you've read any scripture, you understand Jesus is the one that went into church and said, when you pray, you should go in the closet. You don't want to go out on the street corners and let everybody see. Go have that private relationship, right? Go in the closet. And that's where you're alone. But you're not alone. You're in there with your faith, with your God, whatever you believe in. I don't even care if it's the inner self, like you say, it's the inner intellect. To me, and I'm just going to tell you, obviously I believe in something higher. I believe we're connected to that. I believe we're children of God. I believe we're a slice of divinity that's in us that's allowing us to create. We'll get into that. I'll tell you some of my deeper ideas. But it's about that private relationship that you have and your ability to talk about one of my favorites. I talked about one yesterday. I could choose peace instead of this. My other favorite is, one of my favorites is to let go and let God. Do you know how awesome it is to just let the burden go? To just smile. You've got something difficult ahead of you, something you're going through that's challenging, and you just let go. You're in traffic and everybody else is angry. You just let go. Let God. You got a bill come in, right? I'll never forget when I learned from my friend Randy Gage. I used to get so stressed out about money and bills, and a bill would come in. My mother-in-law and my father, I remember they got in a huge fight because she would never pay him on time because she hated paying bills. And Randy changed my whole perspective on it because he said bills are blessings. Those are things and services that you're given. Write the check, stroke the check, give them the money. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, right? And when I heard that, it was like a change. It was like, these are blessings. So instead of getting frustrated by it, you just smile. You let go and let God. I have to tell you a secret, and it's real. It always works out the way it's supposed to. It always works out. So, what we've got to do is we've got to recognize that we can't be afraid of your faith. Now, the beautiful thing, again, about what I'm saying here that I think is really important is you don't have to go on Facebook and tell everybody what you believe. You don't have to go on Twitter and scream it to the world that this is my belief system. I'm in a little different situation. We've got thousands of people listening around the world. And I've always said, I live by example. I'm not going to tell you to do everything I do. I think that's wrong. My job is to give you the knowledge that I've had over the past 30 years of learning all this and building systems to help you be productive, and then slide a little bit into my metaphysical PhD and help you kind of get a direction that's going to help you find peace. Because as I discussed yesterday on the CoachCast, peace is the foundation of everything. If you have peace, you can have that peace of mind, and we can step out of the misery that Blaise Pascal says. All men's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. I have no problem with that because I'm never alone. Do you see the difference? So if all men's miseries and women's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone, then if you're never alone, then why would you have miseries? People say, how do you have so much energy, JB? Why are you also always so fired up? Hey, I have my demons. I've told you. One of the demons that I have is alcohol. Why? Because then I'm alone. When I drink that next day, I'm alone. That depression, that anxiety that I feel as alcohol leaves my system. It's breaking me away from my spiritual connection because it's not truly me. It's creating separation as I dull my mind and dull my senses. It's something that I decided I needed to give up. Will I give up forever? I don't know. Maybe someday I'll have a drink, but I absolutely have no motivation to do it as my life is just moving so fast. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the process. Why? Because I'm not alone. But you can't be afraid of your faith. You can't be afraid of being able to sit in a room and actually question it. What if I question it? I get these doubts in my head. I doubt there is a God. I doubt the things that I've been the things that I were taught are real. I doubt my faith. I doubt my religion. Great. We're going to get into that Wednesday. That's what it's about. I'm going to talk deep about faith as a belief in the unknown. You need to question. I think questioning is the most important thing you do. Why do you believe what you believe? Where did it come from? Have you had any proof? Is there any sense that it's actually real or not? Doubt is great. There's nothing wrong with doubt. We should always be questioning the answers and questioning the questions. There's nothing wrong with that. You need to doubt. You need to question it. And then you need to sit alone, and you need to quiet your mind, and you need to find what is truly in your heart. And that's really the secret. The truth is to turn inward. That is the place to start, not outside of it. I know most of the people here at Morning Coach are seekers. We're all seekers. We love to get knowledge. If you looked at my bookshelves behind me, I have more books on spirituality. I think I have the biggest library of spirituality and business books because that's what I did my dissertation on for my PhD. I have books of all religions and cults and everything that I could possibly study about kind of metaphysical ideas and the study of being, which by the way is what true metaphysics is why the heck are we even here? And that's what my life has been devoted to. But you know where the answers are. They lie in being able to elevate beyond the doubt of the mind, go to higher consciousness, and feel what we're really discussing. And I'm open to continuing this discussion, to having a more deeper discussion on it. We're going to talk about this month. And I'm open to discuss with you. If you've got some issues, that's what we're about. That's what this community is about. Helping you figure it out. Helping you find the peace of mind. Helping you find the peace and the joy in your heart instead of sitting in a room quiet and alone. Because the truth is, as we get into this week and we get deeper into the metaphysical ideas this month, you aren't alone. You are. I get it. You're with your mind. But we're going to make a friend of your mind, a friend of your heart, and a friend to your chosen faith. Because that's what it's about. Remember, it's not about religion. I think that's very important. And we're going to get into this as we get through Saturday and Sunday. But like you asked me, does religion work? You have an individual experience. You're expressing your life and your divinity different than any other being in the world. So does religion work? Well, that's up to you. That's an individual question. Like I started off, this is your private and personal relationship with your faith. And it's a deep relationship that only you can describe what it truly is. I've always said, I can find my God, my deity, in a Buddhist meditation, which is just so beautiful. In a Baptist church, you talk about people that really know how to celebrate life and God screaming and dancing and yelling. I can find it in a Israeli, in a Jewish synagogue. I can find my faith anywhere. I can find it with God on the beach. I can find it on the golf course. That's my personal relationship with God. And that's what I want you to find is what is your faith? What is your personal relationship? So you can let go and let God, and so that you can always know that you're never alone. And by the way, you know you're never alone because I'm always there. I'm here every day. All right? So deep conversations. We're going to get deep this week. We're going to get deep this whole month. And I love it. Deep thought, meditation. We're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk about religion and spirituality and metaphysics. Get ready. It's going to be awesome. And I love you. So remember, what are some of my favorite things? All men's miseries from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. No more quiet rooms, right? We're going to start to understand that there is somebody helping us in our darkest moments. And when we need that boost, we can let go and we can let God. I love you. Go have a great day. And I'll be back with more right here tomorrow. MorningCoach.com.